Hello viewers at home, you are welcome to Mathematics Lab with Mr. Major. Today, I will be discussing the basic theorems of a triangle. And the first theorem, as it is on the board, is the theorem of the sum of the interior angles of a triangle, which states that the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. A triangle is a polygon or a plane shape that is enclosed with three straight lines. That means that there are three angles inside the triangle. So what we are saying, or what this theorem is saying, is when you add these three angles together, the answer is always 180 degrees. For example, let's assume we have a triangle like this on the board. Let's name it triangle A, B, C. Now, what we are saying is, when we add all these three angles together, let's assume this is angle M, this is angle N, and this is angle P. Now, we are saying that M plus N plus P, being the interior angles of the triangle, is always 180 degrees. And I will explain this, or I will prove this by extending this line this way. I will still label here C, please. It's still C. Now, let me also produce another line here. Let me produce another line here and extend this one this way. Now, let's label here D and then label here E. Now, if you notice, this line AB is parallel to line EC. So these are parallel lines. If line AB is parallel to line EC, it then means that line AC that is passing through the parallel lines is a transversal. And recall that when I was discussing angles in a line, or angles between parallel lines, I said that when a transversal passes through parallel lines, there are corresponding angles that will be formed, and there are alternate angles that will be formed. And I said that corresponding angles occupy exactly the same positions in the parallel lines. Now, since AB is a parallel line, we will see that this line here, this is a transversal, like I said. This is also a transversal. Now, this line here, this angle here, rather, is occupying the, let me say, the bottom right hand of this parallel line. The bottom right hand of this parallel line. Now, this angle here that I'm marking now, is also the bottom right hand of this parallel line. So, let me label this angle as angle X. If I label it as angle X, that means I am saying that angle M is equal to angle X. And the reason here is because they are corresponding angles. They are corresponding angles. Now, in the same vein, we can say that angle N here is alternate to this angle here. Remember, we said in alternate angles, we look at interior angles that are occupying reverse positions. So these are interior angles. This is alternate to this. Now let me label this as angle Y. That means angle N is equal to angle Y. And the reason is alternate angles. Alternate angles. Now, the next thing we are going to look at is this. We look at this place here, we are actually having a straight line here. And I said, or we have proven the theorem that when angles meet on a straight line, the sum of the angles is 180 degrees. In this case, angle P, angle Y, and angle X are meeting on this straight line. That means angle P plus angle Y plus angle X is equal to 180 degrees. And the reason is angles on a straight line. Angles on a straight line. So the sum of such angles is 180 degrees. Now, back to the theorem. We just said that angle N is equal to angle Y, which is here. The reason is alternate angles. So if I bring this is P plus Y. Since N is equal to Y, I can replace the Y here with the N since they are equal. The same way, X and M are equal. So I can replace the X here with this M. That becomes P plus N plus M. Since this is equal to this and this is equal to this, that means they are still the same thing. So P plus N plus M is also equal to 180 degrees. Now, looking at the figure, we will see that P is an interior angle of the triangle, N is an interior angle of the triangle, and M is also an interior angle of the triangle. These are the three interior angles of the triangle, which is 180 degrees when added together. So this illustration here is to prove that indeed the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So in a bracket, we state here angles in a triangle. Just as this symbol here means angles, this one means triangle. So angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. We shall now move to the second theorem. All right, let's begin the second theorem of the basic theorems of a triangle. The second theorem states that an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of its opposite interior angles. Now, to explain this, I will draw a diagram. Let me assume I have a diagram like this. Let's assume we have something like this, a straight line like this, another straight line like this, and then another straight line like this. Now, we have three straight lines here. Now, we have a triangle being formed here, and these are the interior angles of the triangle. Let me label the interior angles as A, B, and C. Now, here is an exterior angle of the triangle. I will label it, let's say, X. This is also an exterior angle. I will label it as Y. This is also an exterior angle. I will label it as Z. Now, remember the word exterior means outside. So when we talk about exterior angles of a triangle, we are talking about the angles that are outside the triangle, but they are adjacent to the interior angles. So now, for me to prove this theorem, I'm going to pick any one of them. Let me just pick this. Now, if I explain with this, we can also use any of those ones to explain it as well. Since this is a straight line, we know that C plus X is equal to 180 degrees. And the reason is they are angles on a straight line. They are angles on a straight line. C plus S equal to 180 degrees. That is a proven theorem we've discussed in one of my previous videos before. Now, let's come to the interior angles. From what we have proven here, the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. That means that C plus A plus B, being the interior angles of the triangle, is also 180 degrees. And the reason is angles in a triangle. Now, if C plus X is 180, and then the same C plus A plus B is also 180. This is C, meaning the value remains the same. The value of C here is also the value of C here. What that means is that A plus B is equal to X. So we are saying that our X here is equal to the sum of A and B. This X is an exterior angle of the triangle. This A plus B are interior angles of the triangle. So that confirms the theory that an exterior angle of a triangle, in this case X, is equal to the sum of its opposite interior angles. In this case, these are the opposite interior angles. This is their sum. So, for you to apply this theorem without making mistake in any examination or in any question that come across your way, you must know that the exterior angle that we are looking at and the interior angles we are looking at, that the interior angles must not be the angle that is adjacent to the exterior angle. In this case, C is an interior angle and it is adjacent to angle X. So if you pick it as S equal to A plus C or S equal to B plus C, you will be wrong because C is adjacent to X. So we rather pick the ones that are not adjacent. So we say X is equal to A plus B. So if we are looking at this exterior angle Y, the interior angle that is adjacent to angle Y is A. Therefore, Y will be equal to the sum of B and C. So we say Y equal to B plus C. Reason, exterior angle equal to sum of opposite interior angles. The same thing here, the exterior angle Z here is adjacent to interior angle B. That means our angle Z, an exterior angle, will be equal to the sum of A and C. So what we are saying is, or what I'm saying is, Y will be equal to B plus C, and then Z will be equal to A plus C, A plus C. So in these three cases, the reason is exterior angle of a triangle equals sum of opposite interior angles. That is the reason in each of these cases. Now, these are the two basic theorems of triangles. These are the two basic theorems of triangles. Now, there are some other things I would like to explain so that when we begin to solve questions on the basic theories of triangles, you will not find it challenging. I want to talk briefly on equilateral triangle. I want to talk briefly on isosceles triangles because they have some minor theorems under them. So let's look at those things. Now, I will begin with equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle or equilateral triangle is a triangle in which the size of the three angles are the same. They are equal. Since we know that the sum of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees, and in equilateral triangle, all three angles are equal, what that means is we divide 180 by 3, and 180 divided by 3 will give us 60 degrees. That means the angle here is 60, the angle here is 60, and the angle here is 60. Now, in most cases, they will not give you these angles. They will not give you. So how do you identify an equilateral triangle? You will see that all three lines will be marked by the same arc, as I have done like this. So when you see all three lines of the triangle being marked with the same stroke or the same arc, just know that such a triangle is an equilateral triangle. Sometimes it can be double arcs, provided all of them are having exactly the same number of arcs or strokes. Just know that it's an equilateral triangle. Now, the next one is isosceles triangle. When we talk about isosceles triangle, an isosceles triangle is a triangle in which two sides are equal. So it is something like this. and then we mark these two lines like this, it tells us that these two lines rather are equal. You will see that this one is not marked because it is not equal to these other two lines. That is the meaning. So such a triangle is what we call isosceles triangle. In this case, the other line that is not equal to these two lines will carry what we call the base angles. So this line that is not equal to these other two lines will carry these two base angles. So these two base angles will be equal. These two base angles will be equal. So if maybe we have angle A here, angle B here, and angle C here, we are saying that angle B is equal to angle C. And the reason is that they are base angles of isosceles triangle. Base angles of isosceles triangle, B and C. So if angle B is 50 degrees, for example, it implies that angle C will also be 50 degrees. If angle B is, let's say, 75 degrees, it implies that angle C will also be 75 degrees. So this is how to identify equilateral triangle and then isosceles triangle. Like I said, in equilateral, all three angles will be equal. What that means is that if these are the three angles, x is equal to y and equal to z, and in this case, for equilateral triangle, the answer is always 60 degrees. It does not change. But for this one, it can always change depending on what we have here. Okay, so these are the theorems on triangle. In my next video, I'll be solving questions on these basic theorems of a triangle that I have explained. So please, if you've not subscribed, do well to subscribe to my channel so that when I drop that video, you can get the notification so that you can watch it. Please, if you have any question, drop it in the comment section. Anything you want me to, or any question you want me to answer, drop it in the comment section. Share the video, like it, and please do well to subscribe. Thank you.